Hey everyone, George here, the Disney Family Man, coming to you with another video. I have to say, it feels so good to actually say that again because it's been forever, forever
Yeah.
and a day. But I'm glad to be back doing a video, and what better way than to come back into the new year in 2022 than with my brothers, my comrades, my friends, OrangeGrove55 and Mr. VashSky joining me in the Disney Family Man 23 studio today. How you fellas doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
As
Thank you so
always,
thank you so much for having me. This is a very cool to be back on this channel.
absolutely. It's been a while, so I'm very glad to have you guys back on for my first episode back in 2022. So I'm glad you're able to join me. So today I thought would do something a little bit different that you're probably thinking, if a lot of you follow me on Twitter, or if you listen to my Corner segment on Orange Grove 55's channel, I use the term of balls to the wall, so to speak. So you're probably, thinking of wondering, why. There it is.
There it is.
That you're probably wondering, what is going to be the start of Disney Family Man 23 coming into the new year. Well, this has something to do with the parks, but not exactly to the parks. This is about bringing the parks to your home. And I'm not talking about going to the parks, buying souvenirs, merchandise, what have you. This is coming from the Magic Candle Company. And it is a sort of a third party online business that they do where they create scents and smells, whether it's with candles or bath scrubs or hand soaps or air fresheners, what have you. They have it, and they like to bring a sense of taking the parks and bringing it into your home, whether you're taking a shower or driving in your car. You have that little bit of Disney magic going with you wherever you go. So I kind of figured, as part of a Christmas gift from my wife, I asked to get some products from the Magic Candle Company so I could test it out for myself. And I'm a type of person that I'm not going to mince my words. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell it like it is. But of course, I'm going to be respectful, of everything, but it's constructive criticism. But first, let me ask you guys, have you ever experienced anything with the Magic Candle Company products? I'll start with you, Orange Grove.
Yes. Two of the candles I've experienced. The Pirate Life, or Pirate Water candle, and the Flying Over Orange Groves candle, because I'm so on brand.
Well, I was going to say that would surprise me for you not to get that one.
Yeah, so the Pirate Water and the Orange Groves. But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on these candles. But what about you, Vash? Have you ever experienced the Magic Candle Company?
I unfortunately have not. And that was kind of my excitement. The reason I wanted to come on so badly was because I'm kind of interested to hear what you guys have to say, and you guys can give me a review and see if I can see if you can convince me to get one of these things, because they are a little bit pricey, and I've always wanted to get one. So hey, I'm going off your guys' recommendations and insights.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. And you mentioned the pricing. Let me click on one real quick so we can show the viewers at home exactly the price ranges and everything. Give me 1 second. We'll start with a small candle. And so your small candle is going to run you $17.95. So yeah, I mean they're up there. They're not super cheap, So
Yeah. And I kind of like put it in the range, like sort of if you were to go into, if whoever is familiar with Bath and Body Works, they sort of like have like more of an upscale type of scents and fragrances. But along like how they do it, but with Magic Candle Company, they do have like special deals and stuff, throughout the year. And I do know that they have like a yearly price package. And I think that there's a special going on. I think it's like 20% off your first box, because they send you like little gift boxes if you join sort of like their promotional deal, and it comes, I think, like with a candle and a spray, and each month you get something different, but you don't know exactly what you're getting.
okay, interesting.
Right.
So what I got to ask you, George, what sense did you get?
Well, what I asked my wife, I said, you could get me anything that you'd like, surprise me. But I said, I don't want the typical candle. I said, because a lot of people, when they do like their reviews of Magic Candle Company, they always go towards a candle, which I'm kind of glad, because since now Orange Grove, you had some, history with the candle. So I said, get me a couple hand soaps and give me the magic soaking salts. Because me, being a family man, at the end of a long day, you just love to just go into your bathtub and soak. Like there's nothing more blissful than after a long day's hard work, soak in a tub. And I thought, add a little Disney magic to that. So I'll actually start with that first. So I got two of the soaking salts. I don't know if you fellas can see it. So this one is the Pixie Dust. This is the one that she got me for the soaking salt. And then the other one is the Tiki Terrace, which is more based off of, the Enchanted Tiki Room, Adventureland sort of thing, like the tropical hideaway sort of thing. So I'll start with the Tiki Terrace, because this is actually the very first one that I opened that I had to try. And when you kind of, I'll give a little ASMR.
There we go.
So with Tiki Terrace, that when I first opened it, and if you kind of see it sort of looks like, let's see if I can get it on camera. There we go. Yeah. So it's sort of like a scrub type of thing, and it kind of dissolves as you put it in water. Now just opening it, I don't even have to put it to my nose, and the fragrance is already there. Now, on a plus note, this one I feel kind of, and I have a little bit of a disclaimer of what the Magic Candle Company is. A lot of people think it's the exact smell that you'll get when going into the park, and that is not the case. What they do is they try to have a representation of what that smell is. So it kind of gives you a reminder that when you do walk into the park, it is not an exact full replica. And I'll get into that later, what I mean by that. But
yeah, and actually my review of my candles actually touches upon that. That's interesting you mentioned that. I did not know that. Go on, sir.
But anyway, so speaking with the Tiki Terrace, what this kind of has, it sort of has like that tropical sort of like a tropical breeze sort of smell, which actually, as I said, it kind of hints on to where when you walk into Adventureland, you go to Tropical Highway, it has that very fruity yet type of, not citrus, but it's like it's that essential smell where the second you walk in, if you walk in blindfold, you say, okay, I'm in Adventureland. That's the smell that I get with Tiki Terrace. And that is a positive review, because again, it's not the exact smell, but especially when it hits water, the fragrance really comes through even after you open the container. So as soon as it like hits into the water and you have the water running, it brings up a lot of the fragrance that when you're like bathing or relaxing, you definitely get those fragrances. Oh. Now with Pixie Dust, now this is kind of a lot of people wonder, well, what does Pixie Dust smell like? Because it really doesn't correlate to anything in the park. It's just based off of Tinkerbell, and people are like, well, what does Tinkerbell smell like?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that same exact thing. Like, what does Pixie Dust smell like? Yeah. What is, there's no reference.
So with this one, the only thing that I could really say about this one is, and I actually used this one a lot, as you can see. I used. Wow. I crushed Tinkerbell. Yeah. But with that one actually has a very good it has a sort of a lemon type of smell to it, which I thought was like kind of very interesting, being, when you think of Pixie Dust, I thought it would have been something more like floral, but it has more like of a lemon scent flavor, for which, as I said, I actually prefer that scent over the Tiki Terrace. But as I said, I can't really resonate with it. It just has a really good smell of a fragrance, but I can't say it's anything that I smell in the parks.
Right. I did want to mention, I kind of want to, like, because you talked about, George, like how they're not supposed to be exact replicas of the smells in the parks. And that's where I think a lot of my disappointment unfortunately kind of stemmed from. Like I got the Pirate Water one or Pirate Life, and I got the Orange Grove one. Now with Pirate Life, they
said that they said it was supposed to smell like the pirate water.
Right.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly correct. And it doesn't smell bad. Like it's not a bad smell, right? Like I burned it. I use the entire candle. It smells great. It just didn't smell like the pirate water. Like when I think of pirates, right? I think of that heavily chlorinated, musty 1960s era wood. Just all that sensory stuff going on. And I understand, like, look, this is a independently owned company. They're not going to have the resources to just recreate anything, and I get that. It just didn't smell like pirates to me. It smelled more like if you walked into your bathroom after someone took a shower, that like body wash, shampoo kind of air, that smell when you walk in, more like that. It felt more like just a really clean bath water kind of smell.
So would you say it was more like of a chlorine smell?
No, it wasn't chlorinated at all. That was my disappointment, actually. If it had that chlorine smell, that would have been, so pirates. But this was more just like if you took a shower with a bunch of body wash, that body wash and water kind of fresh smell. It's like that. It was soapy. It was very soapy. And again, it wasn't a bad smell. It just like, if you burned the candle and said, what does it smell like? I would never guess Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, I'm just being completely honest. It didn't smell like Pirates of the Caribbean to me at all.
Yeah. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean especially at Disneyland, has a very distinctive smell. When you walk into that building, it's like, okay, it's quite fascinating. Just to give our listeners some insight, they don't actually use chlorine in the water; they use bromine.
What?
Which is chlorine is very harsh, harsh, and it can ruin clothes. So bromine is kind of the chemical. I mean, it's a bit more expensive, obviously, but it's far less harsh, and it's kind of safe to even ingest in small quantities for like a kind of like a park's operation.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
I didn't either. That's fascinating.
Yes, and that's that distinctive smell that you're smelling there in terms of Disney's water attractions, especially at Pirates of the Caribbean. So when you say that it doesn't smell quite anything like that, that's really disappointing, because that was the one I was most interested in.
Right, and me too. And that's what I really wanted. I'm like, that's really cool to have that smell at home. I was really, really sold on that idea. And it didn't deliver for me. It didn't deliver for me. Now, this one, the Flying Over Orange Groves, didn't smell like me at all. No, I'm just kidding. No, but this one does smell like oranges, right? And that's obviously a much easier smell to kind of duplicate, I guess. But my criticism, and I hate to do this, but it's just where I'm at, and I'm just being honest. I got this one, the large one. And it's $24, $25 for this candle that smells like oranges. I can go to Target and get an orange candle for $5. This, I understand, like it's the Orange Grove section of Soarin', but I can get that same effect buying a cheap candle at Target that smells like oranges. I don't need to spend $25 and then the shipping and all that too on top of that to have an orange candle. And again, I hate to say this, but for me personally, it just wasn't worth the pricing and what they're giving me, in my opinion,
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I could definitely agree. Like, I think where you have a typical regular sense, like as you had mentioned, like anything like citrusy or with orange, you can kind of find anywhere. And that's where I kind of went with, I told Jess, I said, give me something that's like like typical, like get me something that I can resonate to the parks. So kind of going on to the hand soaps. Okay. And anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love the Disney Cruise Line. Yeah. I love going on cruises. Now, a lot of people probably thought that, you know, with getting these, okay, with the second that you put it in your hand, oh, it's going to smell like the lobby atrium of the ship, you know? And it's like, I know it probably that's a little bit far fetched, but
Yeah.
she ended up getting me the Castaway Cruise hand soap.
Nice.
And it's a pretty decent sized bottle. I mean, I still have like, and I've been using it. And I guess more so what this is resonating to, again, with Disney Cruise Line and Castaway Key, that I thought it was going to smell, I guess in my own expectation, I thought it was going to end up smelling sort of like that, again, that tropical type of, you know, Bahama breeze type of, you know, sense that I do know is out there. Well, when I ended up using this one was actually the disappointment, believe it or not, for me.
Okay.
That when I used it, it smelled literally like suntan lotion.
Weird. Well, you know what though, George? I mean, and I haven't smelled it, so I can't really say. But that's kind of on brand for a cruise, I guess, right? It's
Right,
like
right. So that's right. So that's where. So I was just kind of taken back because I thought, okay, well, where is this coming from? And then I thought, okay, so like when you're laying on the beach, you know, you put on the sunscreen.
Yeah.
That's what you smell like. I think it was just more so I had higher expectations for this one.
Yeah.
And that one just kind of where it's like now in the middle of winter, if I go outside and people smell sunscreen lotion, they're looking at me like, what are you smoking? It's like,
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Dre, I got to ask you, man, like, have you ever, you're familiar with Magic Candle Company. Have you ever considered buying product from them or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I actually have. I have considered kind of, you know, purchasing any number of their products, candles or soaps or anything like that. You know, it's kind of interesting that, you know, you say that. When we stay in Southern California, sometimes we will stay in actual timeshare. And they have a kind of soaking bath that we're always kind of like ignoring because we just, you know, it's just a low priority for us. But I've always kind of thought about, well, you know, if you're in Southern California, you're next to the parks, you can get one of these candles or soaps and kind of feel like you're kind of there or something like that. And so I had kind of considered that and previously to kind of like, you know, spring it on the family and say, hey, you know, you want to feel like you're in Disneyland? Hey, let me get the music going and rock one of these. So it is kind of disappointing to hear that some of these smells aren't necessarily indicative of the parks. I was kind of hoping for more.
yeah. And I think that's why I wanted to bring this to people's attention. Again, not to knock the company, nothing like that whatsoever, but just more so to the fact that people may have a higher expectation to say, oh, it's really going to smell like the actual real thing, literally, where I think it's more so an interpretation of a theme wise of what you can possibly get when you go to the parks. Now, again, I didn't get to experience the other fragrances. This is only my first batch, so I definitely will be getting more, for which maybe, you know, another review in the future, you know, I may have different opinions. This may just be because of the selection that my wife chose for me for my Christmas gift. Now there is a little bit of a disclaimer for which Magic Candle Company does state on their website. There are certain fragrances that are of the same. So, for instance, like the Banshee Flight for Pandora,
Okay.
and I think it's Flying Over Africa. I believe those are the two. The Flying Over Africa and the Banshee Flight, those have the same fragrance. So if you get the Banshee Flight and you get Africa thinking it's two separate smells, it's going to be the same. And Magic Candle Company does have a disclaimer on that. They do. It's in fine print down at the bottom when you're going to pick out your selection.
That's interesting. And kudos to Magic Candle Company for having that disclaimer. That I like that transparency, to be honest with you. I mean, I do. Yeah. I like that a lot. But that's odd to me. Like, why not? Like, I don't know. Why do that? That's weird. Why not just have one or the other then? If it's going to be the same smell, then you're just basically, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, when you go to the supermarket and then like Disney will have like a deal, like a sponsorship deal with like Dole. And then you can buy like bananas, and like the bag the bananas are in have like Frozen or like Mickey Mouse on them. It's like you're basically paying for the bag. Like it's the only thing Disney on it is the bag, right? And that's like the bananas are still just fucking bananas, right? But it's just the bag is the only thing that's Disney, right? It kind of reminds me of that. Like it's kind of like then in that case, if they're both the same smell, you're paying for the label essentially.
That's essentially what it is. I guess it's just more so that if a person wants to feel like they're smelling Flight of Passage, they'll get the Banshee Flight. If they want to smell Africa, where you're walking around Animal Kingdom, or as part of Soarin', then they grab one of those. But but I do applaud them for actually admitting to the fact, that's good, consumer, to kind of be on the same level with your paying customers to say, just so you know, this is the same thing.
Yeah.
Now my next one is the beach resort that I got, because again, I'm a beachy type of person. I love cruising. I love beaches. Now with this one has a very distinct. This is the one that I thought that the Castaway Cruise was going to smell like a little bit. This one has a little bit more of the distinction of the beach club resort at Walt Disney World, and that's what it was going for. So it kind of has more of it has that beach smell where it's not sunscreen. It actually smells like
salt water, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. Like when you go into that, like you got the sand, you have the salt water, you have that air that's blowing in the wind. That's what the beach resort smells like to me.
Cool. That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
Now, what I'm actually kind of interested too is, and again, if anyone has these and you disagree with me, comment down below, because I find this very interesting that a lot of people have different sensory, they have different scents, they have different smells. So something that would smell one way to me may smell different to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely say, anyone who has any of these products, comment down below, tell us what you think. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Is there a fragrance in particular that you go for? Or, or if it's something that's not your cup of tea, that's good too. So I have one more left, and I saved this one because this one's the best for last. If this actually...
Real quick, is this the Bantha poop one?
Bantha voodoo.
Well, here's the thing.
Voodoo.
That's actually a shout out to our buddy Jay Lynn who had the Bantha poop joke in our video.
Well, here's the thing. Disney, maybe if you would make the Banthas.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh no.
There you go.
Maybe we could have the Bantha poop.
Go.
Well, that'll go nicely with the animal droppings that they used to sell there at the Animal Kingdom. Remember that back in the day? Yep. Oh boy.
Yep. Oh. God,
so
weird.
I have to say with this last one, if this was not soap, or actually I was very tempted that if I wouldn't have known that I'd be sent to the hospital to get my stomach pumped, I would probably devour this. So, and as a disclaimer, folks, please don't really do that. Don't ingest any of this. This is soap, okay? So even though it smells good, trust me, it probably would not taste good. So this one that I have is do not eat this. You just never know. So this is the pineapple whip. And I have to say, I've gotten a lot of these at Disney, at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, the pineapple Dole Whip floats and the Dole Whip ice cream. I have to say, it has a hint of soap, because obviously it is soap, to get that, the clean. But I tell you what, it is pretty spot on.
Cool. When
it comes to the pineapple Dole Whip, that it literally, especially after you wash with it, because I only got it in the hand soap, once it dries, the smell on your hand, it stays with you for a good amount of time. Wow. And I tell you, every single time, it just makes me want to lick my hands. That it's like, it just...
It's getting a little strange now.
Yes.
George,
But especially like if I'm out in public and I end up doing that, they're like, okay, especially with all the germs going around and everything, it's like, don't do that. But no, in all actuality, the pineapple whip is actually so far my favorite one.
Good.
Okay.
Cool. That sounds like, see, these are smells like the pineapple one, the Orange Grove, soaring over Orange Groves. Those are smells that I think are more readily available to a candle company that they could duplicate that, you know? I just think that like the Pirate Water one was just so, oh man, it's such an amalgamation of like so many different things in that ride that make it so unique. It's just so difficult to reproduce. And I'm not knocking Magic Candle Company because that was ambitious. That was really ambitious. But it's just really hard. I don't even know if Disney, with all their resources, could really reproduce that in a believable way. It's a tough one. But the pineapple, the oranges, a lot easier to do that.
Yeah. Right. Definitely. So, Dre, so what is your kind of take on like everything that we were talking about? Are you still interested? Are you curious? Are you going to maybe go a different route and try something different?
Right. I think I'm interested, but cautious, maybe a little bit apprehensive, maybe a little bit like, well, I should probably, maybe not. Instead of trying these things out with maybe my own money, maybe kind of look for more reviews and kind of see what more people are saying. Because like you guys said, I mean, noses are kind of sensory functions are so different, right? They're so subjective. And so it might be best, especially for the amounts that we're talking here, it might be best to just kind of go over some reviews wherever you can find them and just kind of see what people are saying about the assortment of scents that they have. Yeah. And I wonder if the product lines differ in terms of the accuracy of those scents. Maybe a candle versus a soap versus hand soap, that kind of thing. So
that's interesting.
I'm interested. It's just I think I might be doing a little bit more research in terms of what people are saying.
Yeah, because I mean, I like the smell of the Tiki Terrace one, but you might get it, open it up, and you might say, "Yeah, it does smell like bantha poo." So it's like,
exactly.
It's all subjective, And a month ago, if you would have asked me this, I wouldn't be able to smell anything because I had COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't tell you.
Right.
I couldn't have told you the difference between the pineapple whip or the baby Grogu poop candle. It wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have known anyway.
Oh, there's an idea. The Grogu macaroon candle. There you go.
There you go. Oh,
there you go. That's interesting. But yeah, so my overall review is that they are decent, as far as do they hit spot on with every fragrance? No. Was that to be expected? Absolutely. I don't expect it to be, balls to the wall, but I mean, sometimes you might, you never know. But I mean, with certain of the fragrances, especially the pineapple whip, the beach resort and the Tiki Terrace, I really enjoyed. The Castaway Cruise one, I was a little bit set back because I wasn't really depicting it was going to smell like sunscreen, but I do understand why it does. And the Pixie Dust one, I just love the smell of it. As I said, it has no correlation actually within the parks itself. It just has a good fragrance.
Yeah.
My next set ones, I think I'm going to try the resort hotels, because the resort hotels, I feel, have a very distinct smell. When you walk into the Polynesian, when you walk into the Contemporary, when you walk into, heck, even Pop Century, because I've stayed at Pop Century for many, many, many years, and it has a very distinct smell to it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very curious to see how accurate they are, and I may not get it in the soap. I may try it in candle form, or I might try it as a bath fizzy or a shower melter or a hand sanitizer, just kind of get like a different sense of what it could actually be. But I'm definitely going to try more, because I can't knock it, but yet I can't say every product, because I didn't try every product yet. So I'm going to try as many as I can to really give like a full honest, but of what I've gotten so far, they are decent.
Yeah.
They're decent. As I said, it's not completely 100% spot on, but I am very satisfied with them.
And that's how I feel. I mean, I think for me, the smells themselves are good. They smell good. I just went in there. I think my expectations were too high for the pirate one.
Yeah.
And I think that's what let me down was that the orange one smelled like oranges, but you know, the thing too, I think the price points are a little high. I don't know what their costs are for making these, which might be pretty high actually. I don't really know, but you know what you're paying, you know, for this stuff, and then you got to add shipping on top of that. It's pricey. Like it's definitely pricey. I can see why some people are kind of like, okay, maybe not. You know, it's $14.95. I mean, and then the shipping and everything, it's high. But I don't know. I'll give them another shot. See, I only had the candles, so I would be really curious to get something like what you had, George, like the hand soaps or something, and see what I feel about those. I might do that. I might buy like maybe 1 or 2 of the hand soaps and kind of give it a shot.
Yeah, there you go. And I think also too that kind of go the route that if you want to try it, but maybe you don't want to spend your own money to take that risk, maybe suggest it to somebody, maybe as a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or Valentine's or whatever, you know. But essentially that didn't really work for me because my wife bought them for me. So essentially it still came out of my bank account. So
yeah. Well, and actually, you know, if Magic Candle Company, if you guys are watching, I mean, I don't know. You should really do like a kiosk at Downtown Disney. And then you can have a bunch of these fragrances displayed and people can smell them. I think you guys, and I don't know what, maybe in Florida you already have that. I'm not sure, but I think out here in Anaheim, that would do very well. I think that would be potentially a big market for you. And then like, you know, like George was saying, you know, some people are hesitant to buy it without knowing. Well, if you have testers out front, you know, you might sell some people on it. I think that might be something to look into.
And I don't even know if they're still going to do any of like the booths at the expo, because I don't know, it's going to be completely different. That, I mean, if they had the opportunity to have a booth at the expo, that would really showcase their products.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
That's
absolutely.
a good point. That's a good point.
Yep. So we'll see. Yeah. Interesting conversation.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to thank you both for joining me. I know this wasn't like a full in-depth conversation, you know, starting it up, but I mean, like I wanted to kind of start it off and I wanted to include my buddies along for the ride with me with this review. And again, comment down below if you have any of the Magic Candle Company products. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Is there anything that you would add or change? Or do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We love hearing from you guys. I'm also going to put a link down below with the Magic Candle Company. So if you want to check out the website, you may find some things that you may be interested in. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, as always, I love to give a shout out to my 2 buddies who joined me today. I love having you guys on, love talking Disney with you. And then if you guys would like to, I'll start with you, Mr. OrangeGrove55, tell them where everyone could find you on social media.
Well, I want to just say again, thank you so much, George, for having us on. It was a lot of fun. You can find me on YouTube, OrangeGrove55. I do a lot of content geared towards the parks, mostly Disneyland Resort, though. It's more focused on Anaheim. But we also dip into stuff like the movies, like Star Wars, Marvel, the business end of Disney with Chapek and the board of directors, all that stuff. So it's a variety, you know. But yeah, that's OrangeGrove55 on YouTube, and that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And down below us, Mr. VashSky, where could everyone find you on social media, sir?
Best place to find me, if you want to speak to me, it's going to be at VashSky on Twitter, just like it's spelled down below on your screen there, at B as in Victor, ASHSKY. That's where you can find me. And just see me, well, I'm on OrangeGrove55's channel, actually, as a contributor. You can find me at Freshly Squeezed, your source for juice, news, and info, squeezed fresh right from the Grove. So that's where you can see me. Hopefully we're gonna have some videos coming out pretty soon here. Featuring all kinds of stuff, just like OG said, but maybe from a little bit a different perspective as well. But yeah, that's where you can see me.
Awesome. Well, again, I love to Thank you both for joining me today. And everyone, please keep an eye out because we got more videos coming your way from OrangeGrove55, from Mr. VashSky, Freshly Squeezed, my channel, Disney Family Man 23. And of course, I also have a segment on OrangeGrove55's channel as well, Citrus Corner. So definitely check out all our content. You can find us on Twitter and have a ball, have a conversation with us. We love hearing from you guys. So as always, and I can't believe it, I'm actually saying it for the first time in 2022, that I'm going to go balls to the wall. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.